Arsenal Fan TV here with my mate DT. He's just been playing for Team AFTV and didn't do too badly, innit? Got to the final, playing with Paul Merson and Perry Groves.
Oh, it was a lovely experience, wasn't it? It's my age. I grew up late 80s and 90s watching them players, so they're a different level, man. They'd lost their fitness and whatnot from back when they were playing, but you don't lose your class, man. Paul Merson was just... You watch him and you're like, blimey, he's still got it, man.
He pinged a great pass to you, didn't he?
Oh, what? More about the touch from me, mate, on the chest. Did you see that? There's a video of it as well, so it was a great touch. Don't worry about that.
Now listen, you got your shirt signed and everything by the legends.
Yes. So that, for me, that's going to go in a frame. I'm going to stick that one up on the wall when I get home. So more for the fact that Paul Merson's wrote about the goal that I scored. I think we need to get a new hashtag going, DT9. Forget about Benzema. It's all about me. As much as Robbie wants to say I was rubbish and it was a crap goal.
No, it was a good goal. I'll give him that. It was a good goal.
It was a worldie. Come on, admit it.
It was all right. It was decent. Right, now listen. Let's talk about, transfers, right?
Yes.
You gave us a definition of the ITK the other day, but on a serious subject now, we're still getting linked to Benzema.
Yeah.
If that happened, what do you think that would really raise our chances this season?
Massively. Even so much as what it will do to the overall feeling in the dressing room, the fans. You know, it's you remember when Ozil signed, and you saw how everyone was going on in the street outside Emirates and jumping in front of cars and just madness. That's what signing world-class players does. It brings a buzz. You know, the same thing happened with Sanchez, and it gives that whole feel-good factor to everybody. And, you know, if you're a player, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're sitting there as a player and you look and you go, right, we just signed Benzema, for example, you've got to be going, boy, I'm playing alongside him every week. You know, it can't do anything but make you think, I've got to raise my game. This is big.
If we don't get Benzema, which is a good chance we won't get him, who would you go for as an alternative?
Jesus, I think every striker on the planet has been linked with Arsenal. So you've got to look realistic. You've got to see... because
realistic. Who would you realistically?
Realistically is a bigger picture, because it's not so much... When you leave it so late in the window, if you're taking someone's first choice striker, they've got to find a replacement. So... it's not so much we're going to take him, because the other team wants someone else. And if you don't give them enough time to find a replacement, they're not going to sell you them. So it is so hard. I can't see any truth in the Cavani rumours. I can't see anything in that, especially if Ibrahimovic leaves. Then Cavani's going to get his wish as being the main man at PSG. The most viable one that you could really go for is Lacazette from Lyon.
He's just signed a new deal as well.
Has he signed?
Yeah, he's signed a new deal as well.
But
so
the thing is, he might have signed a new deal, but is there a clause in that deal?
Well, that we don't know, but he's just signed a new deal.
But then you say that new deals mean nothing nowadays. Sometimes clubs know that a player's going to go, they tie him up to a new deal with certain clauses in, so it's good for both parties. The club get a load of money, the player gets what he wants. So effectively, a new deal doesn't naturally mean I'm staying for good.
Right. Give me one player, if we could sign right now for the new season, that you would sign. One player, realistic.
Benzema. That would be the one. That's the one for me, because I'm adamant that he's lived in the shadow of Ronaldo for quite a few years. You only have to look at what happens at Ronaldo. Any normal striker, you go through one-on-one with a keeper. You remember how Henry used to come in on that left channel? You're doing that at Real Madrid, and you look to the right and Ronaldo's standing there. You have to pass to him. There is no... you have that saying as a striker, like where strikers never give the ball up. They always want to score. At Real Madrid, it's totally different. You have to give the ball to Ronaldo, because he'll throw a strop. The fans will throw a strop, president will throw a strop, everyone will throw a strop. So it's...
Sound like you.
No, more like... hey, listen, sound like Claude. They're not me, but you know, at the end of the day, I think that
Benzema's the one.
Benzema would flourish in this team. You've got to remember, there's the whole argument of a player adapting to the English game. But I think that the adaptation would be made easier for the fact that Wenger's French. He's got French international teammates already within the squad. His competitor for Arsenal would be Giroud, just like it is in the national team. And he's also played with Ozil behind him at Madrid. So I think naturally it would be the best fit. And he's 27, nearly 28. You get 5 years out of him. If you paid 45 million, got 5 years out of him, he bagged 25 plus goals a year, won us the Premiership again, or like contributed to winning the Premiership, and pushed us to the Holy Grail, which is the Champions League for all us Arsenal fans. Would you turn around and argue about the 45 million that was spent? Not hoping else chance.
Paul Merson, Paul Davis, they get space to do their magic. But if you don't have a runner, then they can't do that. So it's
And that's exactly what you did in '89 when we won the league at Liverpool. You created that space.
Do you know what? You must have done your coaching badges. You know your football. That's not a widely regarded. You know your football. No, all
You
it was.
created the space.
All it was. I'd just like to say as well, that's one of the greatest goals Arsenal have ever scored.